tell you that you are. Whether you want to be or not, you're in a war. Whether you're a Christian or not, you're in a war.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Just want to, Mr. Stewart's already read for you. Just want to spend a few minutes just talk to you from the thought of money is at the root of all evil.
All right now.
Money is at the root of all evil. And just want to spend a little bit of time just talking about that just a little bit. But before I do, it is on my heart, so I will say it. Because for those of us that say that we're Christians, and we profess that out of our mouths, then the grace of God ought to be a part of our lives.
Yes.
And the thing that I'm learning is that some of us have a grace to actually be out in the streets ministering to people.
All right.
Some of us don't have that grace.
Come on.
And you just think it's like a gifting. You don't have it. Doesn't mean you can't support it.
Right.
But there's certain things that you just we can't be effective in. And we live in a time when our communities aren't like they used to be. Community is not like community was when I was growing up, where somebody could whoop me that was out of my community. But they could do so because they had a relationship with my mother, they had a relationship with my family, they had a relationship with me. And so I didn't see them as a stranger. I didn't see them as a strange person dealing with me. I seen them as really my family dealing with me. And I knew that when my family dealt with me, that it would get back to the main head of the family. And they would deal with me as well. And I say that to say this, that we're in a time where we really have to operate in the love of God. We have to operate with a higher level of mercy than we've ever operated with before. Because we don't have community like we used to. And so people don't see us as family like they used to. And so when we approach people, we have to approach them in the love of God. When we deal with them, we have to deal with them in the love of God. They need to feel the love and the peace of God just radiating off of us.
Come on now. Come
on. And they will begin to respond. I was sharing with the church Saturday morning about a young man at the workplace, and I didn't think that this part of his testimony would come up in the message, but I was sharing with Minister Stewart. He's a young man. He's an older man. He's my age, so he's an older man. I think I passed the young man stage. But he's an older man, and his profession, what he professes is he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe that there is a God. And this is not the message, but he doesn't believe that there's a God. And Mama Brown told him, boy, if you talk to my pastor, you're going to believe in God.
Come on now. Come on.
You just need to talk to my pastor. And he said, I didn't talk to a ton of pastors, and your pastor ain't no different, and he ain't going to cause me to believe in God.
All right. All right.
And one time, about 8 months later, we had the opportunity to just chit-chat. And believe it or not, we did not talk about the Bible. I mean, we just didn't. We talked about all kind of other things that's going on in the world, even things that's going on in the church. And we were just you know, as Sean would say, chopping it up. We were just chopping it up. I think that's the way that word goes. But we was just having a good time, just conversating. And the thing that I've learned in that is that he didn't feel any condemnation coming from me, even though I knew that he didn't believe in God.
Right.
He didn't feel any condemnation coming from me. We was just talking and laughing, and got to a point in the conversation where he said, "Man," he said, "if you was on the radio, I could listen to you all day."
See? Come on now.
You know?
Come on.
And I said, "Oh, we got something going on here." And then he said, "You know what? I might have to come out and check you out."
All right.
And
All
I said,
right.
"Oh, okay, all right now." And we just continued, and every day he would see me after that. He wanted to come and he wanted to talk. He wanted to come, he wanted to talk. Even to the point where it's like, come on, we got to get into a business together. You know, he's a pilot.
All
So
right.
we got to get in a business together. You know, we can buy an airplane, and we can charter flights, and we can do this and that and the other. And he's already doing that. He said, "So come on, let's go to lunch." And I'm thinking, now here's this guy who don't believe in God.
See? Come on.
But he knows I do. And he knows I'm a pastor, but he want to go on business.
Right.
And so we continued to talk. I said, "Okay, we can go to lunch." Well, on Friday, he said, "Man, I was looking for you. I got to tell you what happened to me. And this is actually going to lead into the message. He said, I'm going to tell you what happened to me. He said, man, I was out going to Portsmouth to take ownership of a boat. He showed me the boat, really nice boat, looked like a yacht. I mean, it was a really nice boat. And he said, I was going to take ownership of it. It's out there on Lake Erie. And he said, and my tire blew out. He said, now I'm out in the middle, I don't know where. My tire blows out, I don't have a spare, my cell phone is dead, and I don't have AAA.
Wow.
But I got $900 in my pocket.
Okay.
Okay.
And he thought, but what's $900 going to do for me when there's nothing around?
That's right.
He says, so he's riding on this rim for about a mile, about 2 miles an hour on his rim, and he sees this farmhouse, and he sees a Confederate flag.
Okay.
And he goes, oh, Lord. I'm not sure I want to go there.
All right.
But he didn't say, oh, Lord. He just said, I don't know if I want to go there or not. But he went ahead. It's like the Lord was pushing him on. You know, the wife turned me on to this one. It's like the Lord was pushing him on up to that door. And he went on up to that door. This white guy comes out with his shirt off and shoes off. What do you want? He's like, well, my tire blew out and just wondering if I can get some help. My cell phone's dead.
Yeah.
So the guy says, well, wait till I come back. He goes, put his shirt on, put his shoes on, comes back. He says, follow me. So he's like, oh, Lord.
Right.
You know, he's like, okay. He follows him, and the guy opens up his barn, and it's a tire repair.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
He's got air pumps, he's got tires, he's got the equipment to take the tire off of the rim.
Wow.
So what he thought was going to turn into a 5-hour journey trying to get this thing figured out turned into a 20-minute journey. And his whole reason for telling me this was because he was cracking up. He said, man, he said, when I got back in my car and I started, and the guy said, and you don't have to give me no money. I don't want none of your money. He said, I had this tire sitting in here anyway. And I don't even know where I got it from. If it's your car, so take it.
Come on.
You know? And he said, no, I got to give you some money. So he gave him $100. He said, you got to take this money. He gave him $100. After him and the guy goes back and forth about this money. And he gets in his truck and he starts driving down the road. He said, and the thought came to him, and this is the part that cracks me up. It came to him, he says, oh my God, there must be a, oh, don't say it. He said, oh, I can't say it. And he said, I almost said, he said, Reg, I almost said that there was a God.
Come on.
And he said, but I didn't say it. I can't say it yet. I can't say it. And he said, but you know what? This thing is on my mind. I can't get this thing off my mind.
That's right.
But what happened, he said, because what are the odds of a man opening up his barn, having a tire repair, shop in the barn, out in the boonies?
Come on.
He said, what's the odds of that? He said, but I can't say there's a God yet. And so I'm looking at him, cracking up, and I put my arms around and said, dude.
See?
I said, dude, I'm going to say it for you. All right?
Right.
I'm going to say it.
Come on.
God allowed you
Yes.
to run up on this barn.
That's right.
I said, can I just tell you, God was trying to show you that he is God.
That's right.
And he looked at me and he said, ooh, I knew you were going to say that. And so he gave me another one of his testimonies where he was just going to sell some janitorial supply. God is really working with him. Just going to sell some janitorial supply over at what used to be the Hoops. And the guy said, I don't need janitorial supply. I need a janitor. I need somebody to clean the place. He was like, well, I don't clean. I ain't got no cleaning business. I got a supply business.
Yeah.
And so he gets in his car and he figured that deal's over and head down the road. And he said, I need to go back and talk to him. So he went back and talked to the guy and said, what is it you need done? And the guy began to tell to him. And so he began to come up with some numbers in his head. He said, well, I tell you what I do. I'm going to charge you $25 an hour, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. And the guy said, let's write a contract right now. So he wrote a contract right then, and he started what is now his cleaning business, which is bringing him in $140,000 a year for him.
Wow.
That's not what he used to pay people. That's what he gets to use for himself.
Wow.
And so he said, you know, after that happened, I started thinking about that incident too, and I'm thinking, what's going on here?
See?
I said, you know, that's just the grace of God.
Yeah.
I said, sometimes we think God got to beat you down to get you in.
Come on.
But oh, he can lavish you with some stuff and get you to know that he is God.
Yes.
And so when we walked away, he said, you know what? He said,
Wow.
I'll talk to you Monday.
Come on, come on.
He said, I'll talk to you Monday. I said, I'll be waiting. I said, something else probably going to happen over the weekend. Come tell me about it. And I just wanted to share that to say that, you know, twofold. One is that how many times have we been not being what God wants us to be?
That's right.
How many times have we not obeyed what God has called us to? How many times, you know, I'm going to speak for, you know how I mean, I'm going to speak for myself. How many times did I go out to the bar?
Come on, come on.
And drink it up,
Come
smoke
on.
it up.
Right.
How many times did I stay out all night? How many times did God get me home when I was drunker than a skunk? How many times? You know, and how many times did I get myself in situations that He got me out of?
Right.
And I know it was because my grandmother, my mother was praying. I mean, I know all of that was in place. But my point in sharing this and sharing what he went through is this. Is simply that God's grace
Yes. God's grace.
in our lives is more than we give Him credit for. We think that sometimes when God needs to get somebody in, He needs to condemn them. God, Jesus said, I didn't come into the world to condemn the world. I came in the world to save the world.
Yes.
And in order to save the world, I got to come with some grace. I got to come with some mercy. I got to come with some love. And so what we seen Jesus come with was grace, mercy, and love.
Yes.
And He got accused for having that grace, mercy, and love. He got accused for hanging out with those who were drinking. He got accused for hanging out with those who ate a lot. He got accused for going into the publican's house when they say they're just sinners and they're tax collectors and they're taking everybody's money. What are you doing hanging out with them? You can't get to them unless you're willing to hang
That's
out.
right. That's right.
Come on now. That's right.
Ooh, come on, somebody talk to me. Now, if you in the body of Christ and you acting up, it's my responsibility to tell you that you in the wrong place.
That's
But
right.
if you in the world and you don't know Christ,
Yes,
it
sir.
is not my responsibility to come and tell you that you're condemned and going to hell.
Understand it.
I need to come and tell you that there's a heaven, there's a place better than this place called earth.
Come on now. That's
I need to tell you that all the money in the world can't get you to eternity.
That's right. Can't buy it.
I need to tell you that all the money that you can make can't bring you no peace.
That's right.
I need to tell you that all the money and the best jobs in the houses can't get you what you need on the inside.
That's right.
You know, me and this guy, we just have a wonderful time. You know, I'm praying, Lord, if you start a business with him, you know, at the age of 61, and that might be pretty good.
Come on now. Come on.
Get into a business and get a soul saved at the same
Come
time.
on
Get
now.
out of here.
Come on.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Watch out. All right. But the message is really about money is at the root of all evil. And when you think about all that's going on and you think about what is at the root of it, sometimes we just say it's evil, but what's at the root of it? What actually caused it?
Yes.
And when I was thinking about that passage of scripture that money is the root of all evil, and I was thinking about it, and you read the text and you read what's going on, and you read up there in verse 7, I believe it is, where Paul, verse 5, where Paul is telling Timothy that there are those out there that's saying that basically you can kind of measure, and I'm paraphrasing, but you can measure your holiness based off of your gain. And there are people out there that actually preach that message. I mean, it's called the prosperity message. There are people that tell you that, you know, to serve God means to get a lot of money and get a lot of wealth and have a lot of stuff. But Paul was telling Timothy that those who are talking like that, you need to separate yourself from them. You need to get away from them because they're not telling the truth.
Come on.
Okay.
They're not telling you they're not telling you the truth. They're telling you that somehow you can measure and gauge where you're at with God based off of what you got.
See, come on.
And Paul was saying that's not true. That's not a true story. And so, you know, me and God, we start to conversate, and so I'm like, hold on. Okay, when did money even come into existence? I mean, that money as we know it, currency as we know it. I mean, when did it really start? And and in the research and looking at the history, it's like after men stopped wandering and being hunters, and then developed community. They needed a means of bartering.
All right.
They needed a means of trade. How do I get what you got? If you're producing sheep, how do I get your sheep? If I need some sheep, how do I get yours?
Right.
There has to be a means, a medium in which we can do that.
Right.
And so we find that during history, after man came out of the wilderness, I want to say out of the wilderness of killing and sleeping in tents and caves and all that, and began to establish communities, it just like start happening that, the first thing they start doing is like, well, we can barter. There's a bartering system, and I'm sure everybody knows what bartering is. I can come to you and I can agree to do something for you, and you give me something, or I have something that I can trade with you. Maybe I have wheat and you have sheep, and I can give you some wheat and you can give me some sheep. And that was the way that things went. And as time went on, they came up with silver and gold and coins, and coins became a method or a medium of exchange for a service, or exchange for a good, or exchange for products. And so, and then we went from there to banknotes to be able to trade and get things. And so, you know, when I was in Boston in middle school, or in junior high as we called it, there was something that was real big in the community there, and that was labor trade. You know, a plumber would go do labor for a friend of his who was an electrician, and the electrician would come to his house and do work for him.
All right.
And so they got their needs met by just trading their trade with one another. And so now, mainly the way we do it is with money. The way that I buy my goods and purchase my stuff is I gotta have money.
That's right.
Either money, or you gotta have some green money, some paper money, or some plastic money. One of them two you gotta have.
Right.
Okay? Nobody's gonna let you get a car because you say, well, I'm gonna come and work on your lot. And you give me that car, and I'm gonna work on your lot for X amount of days. They don't work like that.
Right, right.
You know, they wanna know your credit, they wanna know all kind of stuff. And so the means in which we get things came down to money. And so it's like Jehovah knew that this is gonna be a problem.
Yes.
You know how wise God. This is going to be a problem.
problem.
Because people are going to lock into this money and think that it's the means to all ends.
Wow.
And there's going to be people who are going to get greedy with the money. And they're going to try to hoard it all up for themselves. And as people get greedy and try to hoard it up for themselves and try to store up and try to save and try to have and acquire and have more than they need, it creates a problem. And the problem that it creates is not many people can be rich and be holy. The Bible don't talk about a whole lot of rich, holy people.
Come on.
But it does talk about a whole lot of rich people that is not in favor with God.
Yeah.
And so some people might get done and say, well, you mean tell me I can't have no money? And God didn't say you couldn't have no money. He didn't say that.
Right.
He simply said, don't have yourself in a bind and in a fix to where you think money is the means to the end.
Right.
To where you think money is going to get you all that you have. I go back to my friend Stan. He had $900 in his pocket out in the wilderness, cell phone dead, didn't have a spare, was not a member of AAA. And if that barn hadn't have been there with a tire in it, where would Stan have been?
Right.
Stan would have had to hike on down the road until he could find a place to get back to his truck.
Yeah.
So the $900 in his pocket didn't fix the truck, is what I'm trying to say. It didn't get the tire fixed. And sometimes, and I'm talking about myself now, sometimes we think that the money will fix the problem.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we do. We think that the money will fix the problem. So what do we see in our community there? We see things happening in our community and hear things happening on the news that is just, when you look at it, you go, wow, the root of that is money. You know, I was talking